All right, I am back. I went to San Francisco for a few days. 2K flew a whole bunch of folks out for this big press thing. Basically, we all went to San Fran, played 2K17, interviewed AJ Styles, interviewed Sasha, interviewed some devs. Pretty cool time. And for a lot of folks there, it was just another trip. And I get that. If you do a bunch of these, it's going to be routine. For me, that wasn't the case. Last trip I took was late 2013. It was to go with my Uncle Jimmy to visit my Uncle Ernie's daughter, and after he passed away. And I hadn't been on a plane since '96 before that. So a bit of a difference. Nothing huge, I mean, really, just TSA just takes more time. This is my first solo trip, so I thought, okay, if nothing else, hey, really cool thing there, And then with so much time to think, especially on the 5-hour flight, because I went from Dulles to North Carolina, and Charlotte Douglas International, by the way, great airport. Phenomenal layout, easy to find every gate you need. Whereas Dulles, actually, it was like, I've been there a bunch, but as a kid, you don't really notice anything. It was a pain in the butt to get out of there tonight, because it's like the last leg of the journey, and you gotta go like up steps, take a tram. It's just a pain in the butt. All worked out, but also they needed their charging stations working on, because I had to like charge in bits and pieces, and then my Uber thankfully had a charging cable. But I'm digressing a tad bit here. When I remember thinking that when I started writing, I'm going to do all these E3s and all this other stuff, and it didn't happen. And my mom was always so sad, and she felt bad that it couldn't because it's a money thing. And so for me, having this trip paid for, yeah, it was a great, great learner trip, I guess you could say. You learn a lot of little do's and don'ts. Really, not really anything like bad happened on the trip. But I just thought like this trip was her wish finally coming true. 7.5 years after she passed away, almost to the day. It's like I took this trip because she couldn't, and I got to the hotel room on was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. And I got there and I just thought, wow, I'm here, and I am so sad that I'm here. And not because of the trip, it was just like, I wish she was here. And then I got on Facebook and I saw someone who changed my life 17 years ago, who has been a rock at times I've needed one, and Melissa knows how special she is to me. And I talked to her and I said, I was thinking of my mom, I wish she was there, and I told her, I was like, I wish you were here too. And we just chatted for a bit, and I thought, I'm so glad that we got back in touch a month ago. I just wish we'd done it sooner, but well, life is what it is. You can't pick the course of events. You can just let life play out and then see what happens. And I just remember thinking, like, I'm here, and I wish my mom was here, and she's not. But I'm going to do the best I can for her, because everything I have now is because of the sacrifices she made. And so I made the sacrifice this week. I took an extra day off work, and work made a sacrifice for me. My boss, he didn't have to give me the time, but he told me, I think you certainly earned it, and you got paid time off to use, so go right ahead. I'll make the accommodation for you a little bit early, or a little bit short notice. And I'm so thankful for everything that's happened the last few years. It's like the last year and a half, things are finally coming together in some weird and well, painful ways, but it's kind of a tears of joy and a little bit of sorrow kind of thing. I know that Mom's not able to take that trip. She's looking down and she's happy. She's smiling and probably telling me to stop crying, or it's just not going to happen. But I just remember when she was dying. She felt so bad. Not just because of the pain, but because she felt like a burden. All she wanted was for me to enjoy what she left. I wasn't really given much of a chance to do that. In part just because estate stuff is complicated. Oh, and in part just because things happen. And everything changed from 3 weeks on. Like, everything just shifted. Some very good ways of being able to help people, but I never had a chance to do anything for me. This is the first time in 7.5 years I've really done that. And give me one moment. Oh. Okay. I feel slightly better. Whew. Slightly. I just remember she felt like a burden. I always tell her, no, no, no. And she just wanted everything to work out. And up until this Best Buy job, that wasn't happening. I mean, even with that job, like 10 months ago, I was told that I needed to cut any expense I could because I would be broke. $0 left. 0 remaining. Unless I made some changes. And I made some damn good changes because I went from taking at $2,300 a month. And that sounds like a lot. But I was spending $30 a day to get to and from work via cab. So, not exactly at that point, but for something to go from May to September in a 4-hour shift, I mean, I wasn't making a dime. And I knew it would be worth it. And it was all worth it with these trips. And now I'm only taking $600 out, which is not bad. And I'm cutting things even lower with Uber Pool. Uber period, and then Uber Pool, which I'm so thankful for my new, well, not new weed, it's been out for 5-6 months now, but for my new weed coming in, and because that allowed me to save more money. And I've had time to get better and time to grow into a better person. And Best Buy, I know it sounds odd, a better person, really? I mean, it's just a retail job, but anytime you put just in front of anything, you diminish the value. Which is sometimes a good thing. If you have to get over fear, you just want to go, it's just height, or what have you. But it's all working out, and I didn't think it would. I didn't have a reason to think it would logically. And I remember every time I'm here, it's always weird. I'm like right next to where my mom was when I was taking care of her, which is a good and bad thing, because that was a phenomenal experience for me as a person. Horrible emotional toll. It's one of those things you never get over. You just deal with day by day. And I remember always calling Melissa during that period. She was taking care of her newborn at the time, and she and I talked later, and I just thanked her so much for just a sliver of reality. And it seemed weird, and it still sounds weird saying it, but to have normalcy amidst chaos reminded me that things could get better. And with her and I, just time and distance have never been our friend. They just haven't. And I told her a week ago or so. Well, Facebook Messenger, it could have been 2 weeks, it could have been 3. At some point in the last month, I talked to her and I said, no matter what distance separates us, I'm glad that things have worked out to where no matter where we are in this world, we can be there for each other. And it's always been true to some degree, but for me, it's never felt as true as it has the last 3 days, and they weren't even very big conversations, just all the surrounding stuff. And all the emotion, and I kept everything so short because I just couldn't do anything longer.